So my name is Reynolds, and I'm super excited to present to you my startup, AlgoChains, today. So AlgoChains was actually inspired by Numer AI and the Numer signals that you have access to on Numer AI. So the reason I created this was because I have my sister here, now Reynolds here, it's her boyfriend. And what I found was that it was really complicated to explain what Numer AI is. You go and you stake your model, you earn crypto, but it was a little complicated to get people I knew involved in the tournament. So I wanted to create my own tournament that everybody here will also have access to. So like I said, I'm Tyler Reynolds. I used to work at Google. I also used to work at Robinhood. So a little story before I get into my presentation. About 6 years ago, when I was working at Robinhood, one of the things that I noticed was that there were really brilliant freelance bot developers. So what I mean by that is that these bot developers were creating Python scripts which were hitting the unofficial Robinhood API. And I had access to the back end of Robinhood called Major O. And what I noticed was that these Python scripts were making really high returns for some of these freelance bot developers. And I could never replicate what I saw, but I could never forget what I saw. So later on, when the barrier to entry to the quantitative finance space was lowered, I took a crack at trying to create my own algorithm. And I was successful. So I was dealing with option strategies. I was selling covered calls and cash secured puts. And if you know anything about options, you have to go into an options book and you have to select the type of options contract that you want. Maybe it's depending on how high the implied volatility is, which will get you, or you can harvest the most premium by the end of the week based on these different calculations. So I wanted to create it myself in an automated way. So I use this platform. It's called QuantConnect. This is where you can go and host your trading algorithm to run 24/7 in the cloud. Now there are subscription fees associated with doing something like that. So it's much better to run it on your local box and avoid some of these fees. So on top of AlgoChains being a trading marketplace for bot developers and end consumer subscribers, we're also a channel reseller. So what I mean by that is that we have white labeled data from a partner called Massive.com. Anybody heard of Massive.com? No show of hands. CoinGecko? See a few hands. Okay, so this is just a data provider. We have paid an enterprise level contract to be able to have access to that data and then give that to users at our own set price. So they give us a wholesale price, and then we go out and then have a retail price for it. So that's one of the things that we do. So we're a marketplace for trading algorithms. We're also a data provider. Anybody heard of Data Bento? No? Nobody? That's one of our competitors as well. So what I wanted to show you here, we're beyond just being a data provider. We're also partnered with, I would say, pro consumers. Pro consumers of data who create different strategies, and some of these really talented bot developers have left hedge funds. So anybody heard of Millennium? Renaissance Technologies? Renaissance? Nobody? Okay, well, they're these big hedge funds who create really high returns, and they typically own the intellectual property by these developers. And once they leave, they want to find different ways where they can market some of their own custom solutions. So what you see here is a custom-built C# application, which is an add-on to Interactive Brokers, which is a brokerage company. In order to be able to maintain and execute in a quick fashion, you need to be able to have ultra-low latency. So we help sell the applications that some of these developers have built on their own time. So as you can see here, some of these guys are making a lot of money. I could never replicate what this guy has done, but I would love to subscribe to it and then also take advantage of what he's done. So we're in the copy trading space. And so what this guy, his name is Shyam, what he's helping us do is help seed our marketplace with high quality algorithms that have some type of verified or validated returns. So that's a bit about what we do. We're a channel reseller for data. We're a channel reseller for bot developers who create custom applications, and we sell them to different family offices and other hedge funds. So I'll go ahead and get into my presentation now. by Jim Simmons. He was the founder of Renaissance Technologies, arguably one of the most successful hedge funds in the world. His famous quote is, "I don't have any special talent, I just use algorithms." So what we would like to do is make investing more accessible to a wide audience. Algorithmic investing, quantitative finance is very complicated. As anybody here who's a machine learning researcher or data scientist, you understand how long it takes to build something that's quality. It's not as easy to just pull up your phone and say, "ChatGPT, please make me $1 million." It doesn't work like that, right? It takes a long time to build something, to back test it. You have to have the proper execution and back testing engine. You have to have your thoughts and ideas and hypothesis and theses that you can test. So what we're doing is trying to make this quantitative finance easier for the everyday consumer. So what we're doing is we're partnering these developers and somebody with no technical knowledge. That's at least the goal. So investing has already changed, but access to it hasn't. And also, the pricing in this space is very high. If you're just getting into this, the cost for the data alone for Forex, equities, options, and crypto, it's already going to charge you out the door about $500 a month, if not more. That's for an individual user subscription price. If you're an enterprise or you're a business and you want to license that same data, it's going to cost you over $1,000 a month, maybe $2,000 or more. The other thing is that developers, they don't want to share their strategies, because if too many people pile into the same strategy, naturally the edge can get eroded. Why would I share everything that I have, my 3,000 lines of Python code, to the whole world if it's just going to destroy my strategy and then I'm going to have to start from scratch again? So we created a type of black box system for these developers to run their algorithms on their local box, and also be able to set up the signals propagation system from their local box to send it out to the end user. So essentially, I have my coding environment, and then I have my Python script, and then my machine learning model, when it generates a signal, it propagates the signal through a webhook that's tied to your brokerage account. And then so you're able to send out these signals to a group of people. Let's say it's 15, everybody in this room. Let's say my signal, my Python script goes off, and then there's an entry, there's a stop, and then there's basically a post API request which happens, which says take these actions. You're mimicking my brokerage account. That's essentially what we're trying to do here, is tap into the best developers we can find and be able to mimic what they're doing. The other really cool thing that we've done is that we've partnered with these academic researchers to replicate their papers. So professors at these different universities, such as University of Washington, UCSD, MIT, they all have these professors who have created some really cool papers. The funny thing is nobody seems to be really interested in their work. But guess what? We are. We want to take advantage of the hard work that they've already done to create these papers and create these strategies. We want to seed our marketplace with the highest quality developers and intellectual property that we can. So as I was mentioning, investing was typically only, this quantitative investing was typically only accessible to these hedge funds who could access the infrastructure to run their algorithms or to access the highest grade data. And there was no marketplace for you as an end consumer to go and subscribe to a hedge fund's algorithm or a top level pro-consumer's algorithm. So I would challenge anybody in this room to find out where you can do that, because if you can, let me know. I would love to subscribe. I'll pay whatever the cost is. If it's going to make me more money at the end of the month to subscribe to an algorithm or somebody's ML model that's going to make me a higher return than the cost of the subscription, then I want to subscribe to it. The other really cool thing is when you go to subscribe, you don't have to commit your real capital. You can go and paper trade. Paper trading is with your fake capital. So there is some differences between live execution and paper trading with slippage and things that could actually affect the performance. But that ends up being a scaling problem, and I can get into that later. So essentially though, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. Right now we're a web app. So you can go to algochains.io, you can see the demo, or you can go to algochains.ai and you can see the live site where some of our bots are hosted. And it's really as simple as going to the live site, you have your membership, which gives you access to the real-time and historical data, and then you click a button. You click subscribe. And then when you click subscribe, the signals, which generate from the developer's brokerage account, they get propagated to your account. It's just copy trading. Now there are other competitors out there that do copy trading. There's Traders Post, there's Autopilot, and many more. But there's enough room in this space for us to play as well. And that's what we're trying to do. Make it into an app form eventually, where you can just go in, click a button, and then see numbers go up on a spreadsheet, because that's all anybody really wants. This is just talking a bit about the management of the bots, the control tower. We built an infrastructure system in order for the developer to manage the bots which are running. Maybe there's 10, 15 different bots that they need to manage. They have to stop each one, maybe they have to patch one. There's a lot of different nuances which come in with managing multiple algorithms. And then so we help provide the infrastructure for developers to do that. So this is a really fragmented ecosystem, because if you want to do everything that I told you, you have to go to about 3 different places to do it. You have to go to find a place to run your algorithm 24/7, like a cloud infrastructure, such as Quant Connect. And if you create something cool, and you want your friends and family to be a part of it, then you have to find a copy trading system, which is like Traders Post. And then you also, if you want to create something cool, you need access to the data, the real-time and historical data. And we are the only place where we're a one-stop shop to get access to all of that. The copy trading mechanism, the backtesting and execution in the infrastructure, and the real-time and historical data. And you can see that some of these are competitors here. As I mentioned, I used to work at Robinhood. They have an API, but they don't have a social trading feature where you can copy whoever has the best portfolio. Because if they did, then I would be signed up to it right now. And then these are some other kind of competitors where you can sign up for signals and do some other type of copy trading. Crypto Hopper is mainly focused on crypto. We're providing all asset classes. It's not just crypto. We're doing futures, equities, options, forex. We're going to do all asset classes. And TradingView, this is more of like a web UI. They run PineScript. It also doesn't have many of the features that I was mentioning. Okay, this is everything that I had talked about. The network effect is, as we get more high-quality developers onto the platform and more subscribers, then there is better strategies for you to subscribe to. There's also different strategies that you can subscribe to based on your risk tolerance, because somebody may have a lower risk tolerance and be more conservative and want to have algorithms around fractional shares, for example, and somebody might have a really high risk tolerance like me that really wants to hammer futures and subscribe to different futures algorithms. And let me give you an example of an algorithm. So when Trump goes and kidnaps Maduro from Venezuela, or Trump goes and invades Iran and the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, well, one of the examples is that there's a supply and demand issue with oil. So if I have an oil bot that can react to geopolitical news or any type of these different events, then I have basically a momentum instrument that I can take advantage of, which is these different futures tickers such as oil and MNQ futures. So we have these bots that can respond to these and take advantage of things that are happening in the world. So this is talking a little bit about the unit economics for subscribing to the platform. So it does cost, but we're cheaper than anybody else in the space. So you pay to get access to the platform, which means you can access these different bots. And then you pay to be able to paper trade it, and then if you like what you see because you're comfortable with the algorithm, then at that point you commit your live capital. And the developer sets his price for his bot. So in my case, if my futures bot is killing it for people, then I want to set the price at $500 a month. Now in the US, there's some issues with compliance around charging people based on the dynamic performance of the bot, but I'm not going to say the big C word or the big legal L word, legal. We're navigating those waters very carefully. So we have a lot of different adopters, as I mentioned. We're working with VPs from Citibank who run trading infrastructure floors there. And we're working with actually top 5% Numer AI competitors, Jeremy Barrows. He's helping us create a DeFi Web3 version of the platform because my technical knowledge in Web3 and DeFi could use some work, and I could learn a lot more. That's why we tapped into this broader ecosystem of developers to help us along where we feel there's room to grow. So this is just an example of the different people who are on our team and where they came from. My co-founders, our CTO, so Lahiro Fernando, he's our head of quant research. He was on the he was at the University of Washington and was first place on the Quant Connect competition. So that's another type of quantitative platform where you go and can compete against other universities. So what we did was we contacted the top universities who were competing on the Quant Connect platform, and we could visually see that they had a really high-performing algorithm. You could see their Sharpe ratio, you could see the drawdown, you could see the win rate. And so what we did was we contacted them and said, hey, we would love to subscribe to your work. How can we do that? So they have something that works, and I don't need to know everything about it. I just want to be able to test it, and if it works, I'll subscribe. And so we figured out that there's a kind of a problem in the space. There's nowhere to really do that. You have all these top talented kids working at these universities, maybe 9+ months or a year or 2 years on their research papers and their algorithms, and there's nobody who cares about their work. These are just some of our advisors and where they come from. Come from Palantir, Cape, Fidelity, Millennium, as I mentioned, and a bunch of others. And this is kind of the last slide here. The quote I want to leave you with is that financial capability shouldn't depend on your technical ability. So honestly, somebody like my sister here will never try to understand Python, but what she will do is click a button to subscribe to the work that I've done. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do here, is tap into the ecosystem of really talented bot developers and then connect them with an end user. Someone who might not have as much talent, but still is interested in subscribing to your work. Okay, so going back to the demo site, this is our demo site where you can go and explore and get an idea of what we're trying to accomplish. The metrics here associated with it, the minimum capital amount you need in order to subscribe to a particular algorithm. So you can go here, you click the details, you can see that there's a paper trading functionality, and then you can get comfortable with the algorithm. Different options here. Send money to researchers for their work. So there's a lot of, there's some issues with the demo site that we couldn't translate over to the live site, but here's the live site. This is our live site, so you can create an API key, get access to our backend library, which is integrated with something called Backtrader. And we have our custom library, which can go and test out your algorithm. As we mentioned, we have access to that real-time and historical data. Well, that's integrated into our library. So you can pull up your Claude code, you can pull up your ChatGPT, and then you can pip install, go to your terminal, pip install algo chains, you download our library, and then you can easily iterate against whatever ticker that you want in any asset class. And then it'll build that strategy for you. You can backtest it, and ultimately, if it meets our promotion criteria, then you'll end up being able to push it to the marketplace for either your friends and family to subscribe to. And we're really trying to make it as simple as possible for people to access some of these best-in-class finance bots. You can see we have some of our pricing here. This is going to be much cheaper, but typically, as I mentioned, this is already $1,000 plus more a month in data that we're providing you access to. And we've white labeled Massive.com, the data provider, in order to offset the cost for the downstream user. And some of these downstream users are students who can't afford this data. So we're trying to just give it to them. If you're a student at a university, I want to give you this data for free. And that way, when you're done building something really cool at the end of your course or your semester, you can post it for your friends and family to subscribe to. Maybe even pay for your tuition by the end of your 4-year course. The enterprise feature, that's the one, that's the custom C# application. We're working with the ex-hedge fund devs to go and license to family offices and other hedge funds. We have docs, we have a Discord, and then we have the actual marketplace, which there's only a few here because we have just some really high quality ones here. And it's still being worked on, it's still being in development, but we're starting to onboard different users, developers right now. And we're stress testing the infrastructure. Because I might have my algorithm and I might be propagating to 10 people and it's working, but once you start expanding and you start bringing on more people, like let's say 100 people are subscribing to my algorithm, the slippage can become greater. And so one person might have a different experience in the other. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, the last thing I'll share, the very last thing here, is we do have a webinar coming up next week where Lahiro is going to be presenting. Xian is also going to be presenting, the ex-hedge fund developer from Millennium will be presenting that option strategy. And then you can go and sign up for the webinar. We're doing also a $500 giveaway just for somebody showing up. It will be a raffle. So in case you never win anything, here's your chance. And then right here is the last thing I'll leave you with. This should make your membership completely free, and if not free, it's at least 50% off to get access to the data, to get access to the marketplace, the membership, and to subscribe to the bots. And if you have issues really because you can't pay for whatever reason, we can work with you to make sure that we can get it to you for free. And I'll leave you guys with that. That's the end of my presentation. Any questions? All right, I'll start there and go around. Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask how much you already made from investing using algo chains. From how long and how much capital?
So for me, about $50,000 is what I initially made from my covered call strategy and cash secured put strategy, which I've invested right back into the business. And you said, what was the second one?
No, I mean like you investing using algo chains, you investing money using algo chains, and how much you already made from that, and how long?
Oh, I see. Oh, you mean from people who are accessing the site right now?
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, we've been just letting people in because we're beta testing. So I haven't been charging people who are just helping us stress test infrastructure. We just got to a point where we're able to onboard general users and developers who don't have to help us beta test. So that's where we're at. So I don't have like my spreadsheet here to show you how much we made, but I don't know. I can't really guesstimate. We're just starting out. We just started this company last year. I started in stealth last July. And we just started picking up a lot of traction recently, I'd say as of January, February.
Okay, or maybe I need to change my question. Like, how much people usually make by investing using algo chain?
That's a good question. I don't have insight into all of the breakdown of numbers, but I think I could definitely gather some type of slide that shows something like that. The other thing that we're doing is with Xian's application here, what we do is that we showcase how much would you make with these option strategies without his application and how much would you make with his application. And then you can see the delta difference between using his custom C# add-on application to interact with brokers versus you just trying to run these strategies yourself. And then we just have a demonstration about this is how much more you can make by using this custom application. But I could do better about getting metrics. Okay. Next question.
What brokerage APIs do you connect to, and how do you handle security? Sounds like a pretty.
Yes, great questions. So I come from a cybersecurity background actually. 10 plus years I was in the government, the US government. I did cybersecurity there. When I got out of the government, I did cybersecurity for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So I was actually at Google selling their cybersecurity products. And so we've incorporated all the best in class cybersecurity products. We're partnering with Persona. I don't know if you ever heard of Persona, but one of the ways we're detracting bad actors from getting onto our platform is we're incorporating kind of like the Face ID thing, where you like look up, look down, and it tracks your face. And And the other thing, we're partnered with Spy Cloud as well. So Spy Cloud detects whether or not you have malware on your machine and whether or not the account has been taken over. And it's fingerprinted, so we know whether or not you're a bad actor trying to sign up for our platform. And there are some, we don't just let every algorithm onto the platform. We're very curated. So if you're a bad actor and you're just trying to manipulate your machine learning model and it gets poisoned or something like that, you wouldn't even make it onto our platform. Like we are doing a grassroots movement of talking to everybody, every developer first, and doing walk-forward analysis on all their algorithms before we promote it and we put it on the marketplace.
Which brokerage APIs?
Oh yeah, brokerage APIs. So right now we're working with Alpaca very closely. We have trouble getting OAuth. For the sole reason of us being a copy trading platform, there's a lot of rules and regulations and compliance around getting OAuth set up. But we have put out our applications to get OAuth through Charles Schwab, Robinhood, and we'd like to do it for a lot of others. But right now, you basically have to just get your API key from Alpaca because Alpaca is very strict about getting OAuth implemented into social trading platforms because of compliance reasons. But we're working through it. Eventually, we'd love to have every brokerage possible, 1,000+ different brokerages. You can easily just click a button and log in and then store your token, and it won't be a problem. It can run 24/7 for you. So I don't know if you know this, but if you try to run an algorithm yourself and connect to a brokerage, it's a pain in the butt because you have to make sure that your token stays alive. And that's really hard to do unless you have a script to make sure that your token can beacon out and say, hey, I'm alive, before they cut off your access. And you want your algorithm to run 24/7. You don't want it to run 24/5. So we're working on getting as many brokerages incorporated in the platform as possible.
Thank you.
But right now, any other questions? No? Okay, well then the last thing is scan the QR code, make sure to take a picture, screenshot it, whatever. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time. And thank you, AI. You inspired